Independence Blue Cross presents Take 5 on Hawks All Access.
Hawk fans, another edition of Take 5, brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. The softball team thus far off to a 3-0-1 start, and this week's guest, a member of that squad, it's senior Deanna Stinner. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you.
You too.
First question. At this point, softball team opened a new facility on campus last season. The last couple of years, you've been traveling around for every game, you know, your first two seasons. Last year, you get to stay home for half of them. You have an on-campus facility. What do you see as the biggest advantage of having that?
I think the biggest advantage that we have is being able to practice here. I mean, my freshman year, we started at UNC, my first game ever, and we hadn't seen dirt. And so, I mean, practicing in the gym is a little different than being able to go out and practice on, you know, get some true hops off some dirt. I think another advantage is that of having our own locker room, not having to lug around, you know, our big bags and have to, you know, worry about if we forgot something or if we forgot a uniform, because everything's right here. So,
okay,
that helps.
Good. Yeah, certainly good to have your own facility. It definitely makes for a big time advantage. You always hear in baseball, righty-lefty, lefty-righty, you know, where do you put this hitter in the lineup? Where do you put that hitter in the lineup? Is there something, you know, kind of along the same lines as softball? As a hitter, do you want to face a particular pitcher, like a right-handed pitcher or a left-handed pitcher? Do you have a preference?
Not as much as baseball. With baseball, it's more of seeing the ball coming out of the pitcher's hands. With us, it's more of what they throw. So a lefty oftentimes has a different type of curveball, a different type of drop. So we're more focused on what kind of pitches they're throwing. I think sometimes that we overthink the lefties and we struggle against it because we overthink what they're trying to do. But other than that, we just try to see if they're throwing anything up, down, slow, fast, all that stuff.
How do you work on that, I guess, when you're overthinking? How do you not overthink?
Our plan is with the lefty, we see an inside pitch or an outside pitch. We take away one or the other. So I personally look inside. I mean, other people might look out. So I think that if you're looking for one pitch rather than, you know, trying to overthink what they're trying to throw you, it'll help you a lot. Yeah,
if you're thinking about multiple pitches, you probably psych yourself out at some point or another. Good athlete, obviously good in the classroom as well. Atlantic 10 Commissioner's Honor Roll and an NFCA Division I All-America selection as well. How do you balance, you know, both of those, being a good athlete and then being good in the classroom as well?
Well, I grew up with two parents as teachers, so...
Well, that helps.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
So I really...
Your work ethic's not in question, that's for sure.
That definitely was instilled in me throughout my whole life. But I think coming here, the biggest thing was learning how to balance everything. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of sleep, so...
Me too.
Yeah.
Who isn't?
So I tend to sleep more than study. So, I mean, I'll go in, I'll get my work done in the library, come back, and, you know, I don't overthink things. So, I mean, I'm not going to stay up and study all night. If I want to go exercise, I go exercise. So, I mean, for me, it's all balancing everything, not spending too much time in the gym, not spending too much time in the library, and, you know, being happy and being healthy.
I was once told that the person who only studies a couple hours but gets, you know, the recommended 6.5, 7 hours of sleep, you know, 9 times out of 10 is most likely going to do better than that person that, you know, crams for, you know, 9, 10 hours and gets 2 or 3 hours of sleep. So good philosophy there.
Coffee helps too. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. One of 7 seniors on this year's squad. Postgraduate plans? You know, what are you doing down the line? You're going to coach? You're going to grad school? 10-year plan?
I'm sort of freaking out about that right now, but I'm taking a year and taking some classes at home. I'm going to volunteer a lot. I'm going to, you know, get some observation hours in. I would like to apply to some grad schools for occupational therapy, so you need a whole ton of volunteering hours and experience, which I haven't had a chance to get yet, so I'd like to do that. As for coaching, I don't know yet. I mean, but I would like to help people out at the end of the day. So whether it's coaching or, you know, volunteering somewhere, I'd like to do something like that.
Well, as far as coaching, you certainly have a good pedigree. Obviously, coming from Parkland and then having Coach Adams here is certainly a big help.
Yep.
Final question. You know, suppose you have the opportunity to go against one of your teammates and you get to pitch against them. You have the chance to strike them out, for a chance to not have to run laps or sprints or anything for a whole week. Who are you picking?
Dana Park's easy.
Because why's that?
She is the most competitive And I think I would get the most satisfaction out of it, just because, you know, it would mean so much to her and it would mean a lot to me. So.
But that makes sense. We've had Dana on this program as well, so we know how competitive she is. Yep. And I think we're getting a feel for how competitive you are as well. Yeah. Good luck the rest of the season, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
That's Deanna Stinner, our guest this week on Take 5, presented by Independence Blue Cross. And, of course, you can follow the Hawks. They're going down to Tampa, Florida for a little 10-game stretch. We're not feeling too sorry for them about that. But coming home March 13th at the softball field for a doubleheader against Penn. So come out and see Deanna and the rest of the Hawks softball. For St. Joseph's All Access and Take 5, I'm Matt Martucci. We'll see you next week, Hawk fans.